What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back for a Real Housewives of Atlanta Extra. We will be doing birthday readings for Miss Kenyamoore of Real Housewives of Atlanta and Miss Marlo Hampton, honey. So without further ado, let's see what these two AQUARIUSES, honey, is up to, honey, okay? Because we know these two don't get along, okay? Now, we have Miss Kenyamoore. We're going to start with her first, guys. Kenyamoore was born January 24th, 1971. It is the day of the aloof icon. Okay, isn't that interesting? The book says that Kenya's strengths are she is admired. That means that a lot of people hold Kenya in high regard. They really esteem her and respect her, right? The book also says that Kenyamoore is magnetic, which means she is hypnotic, irresistible, seductive, alluring, and appealing, right? It also says she is active. That's one of her strengths, and that means she is mobile, she is energetic, agile, sporty, nimble, vigorous, those type of things. And we've seen that, right, on Real Housewives of Atlanta. We could take it back to season 5 when she first joined the show. Kenya brought a new energy to the show when they were out on that boat and she began driving it, and honey, some of the girls boobs popped out, honey. Some people's wigs almost flew off, but Kenyamoore was not scared, and she brought such an energy to the show. So to me, when I think of Kenyamoore and Real Housewives of Atlanta, that's the moment that really captured, what the book is talking about, because we've seen all of that then, right? Okay, so next, let's get to her weaknesses. Her first weakness is she is self-centered, okay? And we see a lot of that on the show. We saw that on this last episode where, the girls was out of town to, support her. But see, they didn't know it. She wanted to be the center of attention, the main attraction. She wanted to surprise them, but she went about doing it in the wrong way. That's why the girls was like, well, if you were performing, you should have just said something instead of being all secretive and passive aggressive and sneaky and dismissive and condescending and rude. Okay, so basically with her being self-centered, it means she is self-obsessed, egocentric, self-interested. This also takes me to her being on that date with Kandi and Todd and her husband, Mark. And she begins talking about, Miss USA and Miss USA this. And she didn't really want to compliment Mark. And, they just wasn't on the same page financially as far as, making sure the taxes are paid, making sure, we do this first. I'll never forget Mark had said that, Kenya, likes to flex. She likes to be seen and, that whole thing. And y'all remember when she said, yeah, one of the greatest moments of my life, honey, it wasn't giving birth to Brooklyn. Okay, it was winning Miss USA. So, honey, and it's okay to feel like that, but it was like how she said it, and it wasn't marrying Mark. And I know some people will say, well, why would she mention Mark? And, he treated her so bad. Well, at that time, we didn't know, how bad it was. Now, remember when Mark first when her and Mark first got together and they were dating, go back and remember how she was, oh, he's, a masculine man, an alpha man, and he's just such a great man, and he's this and he's that. And I just feel like Kenya has a way of like love bombing. I think she does that in her relationships. I think when she's describing somebody, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like she was love bombing us with Mark. And she has a tendency to do that with people, and then they disappoint her, and then it's all of a sudden they were so bad and they were so horrible. No, you miss the red flags because you're a bit aloof, okay? The book says this is the day of the aloof icon, which means, honey, she ain't all the way there, okay? I don't care what the book say. She gets carried away with her imagination, honey, okay? Now, guess what the next one say? Guess what the next negative trait is? Condescending. We saw it on the show, how she treated Marlo, how she's dismissive with her and nasty. We saw how she spoke to the nanny. We see how she spoke to Phaedra and Portia. When they were married and, was real nasty with Phaedra and, was somebody husband strays. And then we saw her years later. Mark is having an affair. The lady says she doesn't want the sex to stop. That's why I always tell y'all gotta watch how y'all treat people. Because when that shit come back around on you, and then look at how she treated Portia and got on Portia for Portia being submissive to Cordell. But yet, Kenya, when you got with Mark, you was doing the whole Portia, right? You were being submissive. And, it's just crazy how you called Portia out, and, even on her interview she just did with Carlos King, and, Portia had to find herself. Bitch, you had to find yourself too. That's what you get for acting like you on this high horse and you so much better than everybody. So, like I said, she ended up living out what she made fun of. She made fun of Portia and Cordell's marriage and ended up in something worse than that. Because in my opinion, even when Portia was married to Cordell, he would advocate for her. Mark wasn't taking her damn side. Remember, she was into it with Nene. Mark was on Nene's side. And what he said about Nene was very practical. He was like, the lady was nice to me. She introduced me to her husband. I'm not going to have no grudge towards her just because you don't know how to move on, and AKA you want to use this woman for a storyline, because y'all know that's what Toro was doing, honey, when she got back to the show. Okay, but I know some of y'all rolling your eyes, sucking your teeth. You don't want to hear that. But condescending, patronizing, haughty, imperious, superior, supercilious. Yep. Okay, so the next weakness that Twirl has is she is unconscious. The heifer ain't even here. Okay, she's not here. It says comatose, senseless, insensible, dazed, stupefied, torpid. Yeah. And to me, that goes hand in hand with her dating life. You're not a victim. And I'm not at all saying I advocate for how Mark treated Kenya in their marriage. No, I always felt like they joked around too much in the marriage. And it's kind of like he didn't know when she was serious. She didn't know when he was serious. It was just a lack of respect, I feel, on both their parts. To me, like I said, I just feel like Kenya needs to calm down. Like when she dates somebody, she has a way of love bombing us with them. Oh, they so great. Oh, they so good in bed. Oh, this. And, it's like we are at watching a Hallmark movie, right? And then it turns into a Lifetime movie that then gone bad, honey. Okay. So it says the day of the aloof icon, Those born on January 24th can receive an inordinate amount of admiration and loyalty. And let's take a look really quick on Kenya's sign. She is an Aquarius. That means she loves all of humanity, yet she can be pretty distant and detached when it comes to her personal relationships. I told y'all she has, a lot of that in her relationships on the show. In fact, she might appear a bit cold and insensitive to some of her close ones. She's intellectual. An Aquarius woman may seem very aloof, absent-minded, and confused, but in reality, she is quite intelligent. Okay? It says there are certain attractive elements to their active personalities that seem to draw people to them like flies. Yet, of course, this creates its own set of problems since so much is put on them by others in terms of psychological projection, in extreme cases amounting to worship. Their load is indeed a heavy one to bear, not only for their fans, okay, you twirlers, but for their family, friends, and associates. January 24th people often must function as icons. That takes me to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all remember how she had everybody dress up like an icon? I think she had Nene be Grace Jones. I think she was Foxy Brown. I think she wanted Portia to be Halle Berry, but Halle Berry and Babs, and Portia got the shade and was like, honey, I'm not coming as Babs, I'm coming as Dorothy Dandridge. That takes me to that function. Who was Cynthia? I think Cynthia was Diana Ross or somebody. It says, January 24th people often must function as icons, perfect embodiments of what others themselves would like to be. Not surprisingly, jealousy from those who want what they have or feel inferior to them is also common. It is only natural that many January 24th people appear conceited or stuck up, since they often have been placed or have placed themselves in an exalted position from adolescence and early adulthood on. That takes me to one of the comments Kenya made on the show saying that she has been a boss, since she was a teenager. It says they may adopt an aloof attitude. That's all that joking around and giggling, okay? And which I don't really think is good. It's good that Kenya is bubbly and happy. I'm not saying not be silly, but I would watch that with the men. Because men will get to thinking, oh, well, I could disrespect you. And, she gonna laugh it off. And, you really, you want to watch that. Like I said, I saw the cracks with her and Mark early on because I felt like it was way too much, goofing around. And it's one thing to, have a good time with your mate. But to me, it just seemed like they was just laughing, just too much and doing different things to piss each other off. And, that's not healthy, right? So it says they may adopt an aloof attitude primarily as a defense which protects their privacy. Another reason may be that they work so hard that they regard personal intrusions as unwanted distractions. That takes me to when Kenya got on this show, she didn't really want to talk to Portia about wanting to have children, wanting to be married, you're new on the show, express what you really want out of this life, but don't go about it in such an aggressive way. Y'all remember when Phaedra told her, honey, it is the dog that chases the cat, okay? And you don't need to beg no man, to marry you. But see, on the surface, Kenya was Miss USA, and she done been on all these men's magazines, and she's quick-witted, and we didn't know that Miss USA was really insecure and had low self-esteem. It came out when? In her personal life. I told you, it always comes out in the personal life, because in your professional life you can get what they call imposter syndrome and place yourself on a pedestal that you really don't belong on, or you can really fabricate and make yourself look a certain way, right? You've heard people say, I look good on paper, but just because that's what it read on paper don't mean that's what it's going to translate into, when it comes to your personal life. So that's something Kenya has always struggled with. She looks good on paper, Miss USA, and I was a straight to DVD actress. I've been on all these shows in the 90s. She got all that going. But if you look at the personal life, we done seen Walter, we done seen Matt. She wouldn't leave him alone. He was, being aggressive with her property at her house. But what did Kenya say? He's not hitting me though. Girl, you're next. Ain't that what Candy told her? Okay, you are next. It says, because January 24th people often hold lingering doubts whether they are as great as they are cracked up to be. What did I say? What did I tell y'all? They may not wish others to examine them so minutely. However, as long as they respond to the desires and wishes of others and satisfy expectations, they usually manage to maintain their position of high standing. I'm going to say this really quickly. Like I told you all before, I think it was a mistake to marry Mark. I don't think Kenya ever really wanted to get married. I think she wanted companionship, and I think she wanted a baby. But because she's on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she felt the pressure to do that. And that's why she went off, she ran and got married secretly without the cameras. Already you're hiding yourself. You're on this very public show, right? And you sneak off to get married. You don't even want to show your husband. That's what got her ass fired for season 11, right? Doing that. Bravo did not like that. So yeah, I think that was her mistake. She should have followed her heart and just, if you want to have a baby with the man, have a baby with the man. But like the getting married to him and for him to treat you the way that he did, and then you have a long distance marriage with this man, that was a recipe for disaster. It says the problem is that they may be completely out of touch. Okay, are y'all hearing that, twirlers? With what they themselves want from life. What did I just say? I promise to God, guys, I have not read this all the way through. Okay? January 24th people must have the courage to, at some point, break down whatever false images of themselves exist and become the person they really are. Okay? One way to realize this is to be more transparent. Be real, okay? Say what it is and stop trying to build this fantasy when it comes to things. Okay? I told y'all she does that with her mates. More, i.e., it says, more vulnerable in allowing others to see into their thoughts and emotions. Yes, you have to do all of that, Kenya, but Kenya likes to make things look good. As long as things look good, as long as I look good on paper. Okay, I'll tell them any type of lie, I'll, get these guys on this show to pretend to be my boyfriend, because I believe that damn Walter situation, that was set up. I don't care what she says. With the way they both was acting with each other, and she got to flirting with Phaedra's husband, so all of that, you guys, that was her being fake and phony. Yeah, it helped her, to stay on the show. It was entertaining, but it cost Kenya. It worked to Kenya's detriment. Okay, and I believe she was doing that wild ass hyena laugh she liked to do on that show, But behind closed doors, I believe Kenya was miserable after all that stuff with Walter and, these crash and burn relationships. And I told y'all it plays out that way for her because of how she presents the relationships. Okay? It's how it's all presented. You never saw Kandi introduce Todd like that. Okay? Never seen Cynthia introduce Peter like that. Peter was her husband. He lived in the house with her. He may have spent all her damn money, okay? He may have took some loans from her that he didn't pay back. Okay, and Todd is over there with Kandi. They done built businesses together, but do you see how real and transparent those marriages was? And do you see how it translated on screen? Now let's look at Kenya's relationships. The situation with Matt. What did Matt call her? Deceitful and fundamentally deceptive. He called her manipulative because she would break up with him. And then get right back together with him, using him for the cameras. You can't tell me otherwise, because it's like, why the hell would you allow somebody to keep what? He broke her camera outside her house. No, he spray painted it black. Like, what are we doing? Why does it take Cynthia for you, to leave this man? Cynthia told her to leave him. She making up all these excuses for him. Like she has Stockholm Syndrome. Helping her abuser, trying to make sense to, everybody about this, trying to, keep this facade up. And that has worked to her detriment. And I told y'all, when you are not transparent and forthcoming about your life, it's going to catch up to you. So it says, this requires being less distant, partaking in the normal give and take of everyday life, in sharing of joys and sorrows with others as equals. Do you hear that? As equals. And that's her problem with Marlo. She feel like she too good to be on the same show with Marlo. So, that's why it always feels like Marlo is chasing her. But no, it's how she handles Marlo. She's real dismissive of her. She will sit up and lie on Marlo and tell us and other people, remember what happened between Marlo and Drew, all the while not even being there. In order for you to behave in that way, you would have to think that you're better than somebody. You would have to feel like, yeah, let me paint this girl bad. Now, I'm not at all saying Marlo is perfect. And Marlo has lately been shooting herself in the foot with a few of the things she's been saying and doing, right? But yeah, Kenya was out of line for that. And did I hear anybody on that fan base say in their reviews that Kenya shouldn't have lied on Marlo like that and explain what happened with Drew? No. With her and Drew, no. Nobody said anything because it's Marlo. And Marlo comes from a foster home and we could treat Marlo any kind of way. The bitch should just be happy to just have a peach. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all keep saying that Marlo needs to be quiet. But if they wouldn't have no good ratings, and the show is decreasing in ratings, but hell, Marlo is helping them with that. She helping to keep eyeballs on the show. What is Kenya doing? Hiding in her damn room? Bringing Brooklyn on every trip? Once again, distracting everything and everybody. That way I can use my daughter as an excuse to get out of filming with you ladies. I can get out of not admitting my true vulnerability, which in the last episode was her being embarrassed that her plans did not, come about in the way in which she thought that they should have. Okay? They was kicked out of the, charity event or whatever the hell it was, And don't even get me on her being sick and, leaving the hospital without telling the girl, like, too much. Okay, so it says, in plain terms, January 21st people need to step off their pedestal and get down in the soup with everybody else. Okay? And that's why Marlo don't like Kenya, because it's like, bitch, I see you. I see you. I know you're kind. You're faking. You're performing. Have you ever been around somebody and you know they full of shit? You know they full of shit. And you try to take the diaper off to show everybody. They full of shit. That's what Marlo is doing to Kenya while she performs for you all. And you all say, bravo, standing ovation. No, ma'am. Until they do so, they will continue to be treated as a kind of rarefied being, which, although providing them with a kind of pleasurable ego massage, really does nothing for their character. This is the book saying this. Personal growth or spiritual development. Let's read that again, ladies and gentlemen. Which, although providing them with a kind of pleasurable ego. So these twirlers and all of y'all that support her, y'all are not keeping this woman honest when you support her bullshiggity. When you sit up in a review and you got everything, every Tom, Dick, and Harry thing to say about Marlo and her character, and she do too much, and she's so evil, and da-da-da-da-da. I saw so many people going in on Marlo, and she said to put Brooklyn in another room. She didn't mean it like that. Y'all know how she meant it. She meant what she really wanted to say is the baby shouldn't even be on the damn trip. Okay? But that girl uses that baby as an excuse, and y'all allow her. Because I saw in the review, oh, poor Brooklyn. Poor Brooklyn shouldn't have been on the trip. I got a 14-year-old. She wouldn't have been anywhere near them ladies. You think I'm going to allow a damn 5-year-old? How old is Brooklyn? Would never allow a child on that trip. I don't give a damn what I'm doing. Jumping out of a damn plane? I don't care. Brooklyn does not need to be on the set of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I bet if Kenya keep barking up this tree that she barking on, Mark go call her out in the court system, and y'all ain't gonna see Brooklyn no more. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay? So, y'all stop massaging her ego, because it does nothing for her character, her personal growth, or her spiritual development. I told y'all. Once January 24th people come to realize that the admiration of others can in fact be manipulation, that they are in fact hooked on it, they will have taken the first positive step toward change. Giving up certain activities and associates may be essential for their transformation back to themselves, back to life, back to reality. Okay, I told y'all. Kenyamoore, honey, Lifetime movie waiting to happen, okay? When they have reached this stage, they will be free to shine once more, but with a true inner light, which need not reflect what other people wish to see. Okay, because she was on here playing Mary. Oh, I didn't went and got married. Oh, he's nice looking, and and she made sure to hook up with a man that looked like him. Okay, y'all love saying, oh, she's just so beautiful. And Kenya is. She really is stunning, especially at her age now. Still beautiful. Still got a nice body. A diaper booty. But if you're into it, okay. Lean with it. Rock with it. Okay. But yeah, I told you I didn't like how she talked about Nene's kids. Because, bitch, we know if you would have stayed with Matt and made a baby, you would have had one of Nene's kids. Okay, so to me, she likes to, I don't know, it's very much so, I'll talk about somebody kids' looks. No, just talk about Nene. You have to talk about her kids. You talking about her kids pointed out that you have some self-hatred issues. Okay? And we can go right to that scene when she went into that sperm bank with Miss Lawrence talking about she want a baby with green eyes. And girl, if you don't take them damn contacts out and get back to reality, always trying to talk about how the girls are weaved up and they wear too many wigs and you got long hair, as if it is what? Impossible for other black women to have long hair the way that you got. My daughter got long hair just like Kenya. Okay? Long hair. It ain't impossible, girl. Okay. Child, those are them damn prenatal vitamins, okay? And get you some, girl. Let's get it to her numbers and planets. Those born on the 24th day of the month are ruled by the number 6. 2 plus 4 equals 6, and by the planet Venus. Because those ruled by the number 6 are magnetic and attracting love and admiration, all of that is, to me, comes from all that Miss USA. Like, that was so necessary, you guys, for her life, for her confidence. Her winning that meant everything. But the same thing that can serve you can also be a part of your demise. It can bring you down, because every day, honey, it ain't about Miss USA. It's about the real Kenyamoore. And she disgusted me, you guys, with how she treated Quad on Watch What Happens Live. I didn't like that. Really didn't like that. She was very nasty with her on there, very condescending. It says, and since Venus is strongly connected with social interaction, it is an ever-present temptation for January 25th people to give themselves over to an easy pursuit of pleasure and become an object of admiration. The combination of Venus with Uranus, Aquarius's ruler, can lend nervous and erratic energy. And sometimes cold and aloof qualities. We remember when she almost ruined Cynthia's proposal, not thinking, like not putting herself in other people's shoes. That's what I was trying to that's what I was trying to say to you all at the beginning of the reading, with how she treated Portia and Phaedra. That came back. A lot of her fan base, they don't like to say that karma came back around, and no, she's just this perpetual victim. You are never just this perpetual victim in your love relationships. You play a part. Your self-esteem is what picked, out certain people. All that, getting back together with Mark and, stopping the divorce and starting it and doing all of that. And now you can't even get out of it. Now it's allegedly he won't have for more manner. Make sense. It says often love becomes the dominant theme in their lives of those ruled by the number 6. And yeah, she's missing that love from her mother. Miss USA did not fulfill that, whatever Patricia didn't give Kenya. Okay, that being in the same room with her, not acknowledging her. They are at the same, family get-togethers, and Kenya's mother can't say 2 words to her? Unacceptable. Kenya a lot better than me. I would have been cussed that lady out. That's unacceptable. Yeah, you didn't want her. You gave her, to her grandmother. Okay, what was it? Her father's mother, you guys? Put in the comments. That's unacceptable. And then the bitch brought Brooklyn a toy, and you could never acknowledge Kenya? And Kenya was smiling. Yeah, she brought the baby a toy. Kenya, that ain't cool either. She need to. And my mother tried to play a similar game with me where, I'm going to acknowledge my granddaughter. You're going to have to come better than that. I don't care how old these people is. They know better. But yeah, that's how these older people like to do. Oh, I'll acknowledge my grandchild. If you can't treat her mother the right way, you will not have access to her. I would have sent that gift right on back. Okay, but Kenya was, desperate for that love and that approval. I get it. Even though I don't care for Kenya, I understand that. I get that. But that still hurts her, that lady wouldn't acknowledge her. I hate it when she got off the damn bus. That's reality TV. That's when I really saw Kenya shine on this show. That show reality, not all these fake relationships that you didn't put together so you can look a certain way on this camera. Went to the lady door. Lady wouldn't answer the damn door. Yeah. But yeah, Now, back to Kenya. Kenya does what that mother does, and we will do that. This isn't a Kenya thing. This isn't me attacking her, guys. We will do that. Whatever we didn't get from our parents, whatever they have subconsciously or consciously did to us, we will do to other people. And that's why Kenya can be cold. She could be detached. She doesn't seem like she cares. And, she's just saying these insults towards people. That's that part of her that's still hurting over, this woman never acknowledging her, never giving her a hug, never saying, hey, Kenya, how you been doing? Or, So that energy that she gives to Marlo, and it ain't just to Marlo, she gives it to other people on the show. We've seen it. Yeah, that's from that mother. And Portia hit it dead on the nail. And see, because people don't like Portia, they didn't like what she said. But Portia said, I came from a loving mother. I have a mother. Now, I didn't broke down Portia and Miss Diane relationship. You can look into the archives, honey, where I broke them down. Miss Diane is running a gold digger mentorship, honey, with Portia. So they're not perfect, but Portia was dead on the money when she said, I had love for my mom. And that's why, and I'm not at all saying Portia is this perfect person, but this was seasons back. This is before Simon and a lot of the BS that Portia did on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said, I had a mother growing up that hugged and kissed on me, and so I don't spew out hate and do. Remember, Kenya brought the cookie lady in front of Tanya. Unacceptable. What are you doing? And then later on, we find out your man cheating on you. What are you doing? Misery loves company. You don't do stuff like that. And Kenya did it like nothing. Yeah, but, Tanya made fun of the fact she had on a wig. Did you not have on a damn wig? Do you not throw on our face that you got all this hair? Okay? And you had on a wig. It was a big deal. It was a joke. It was a kiki. Let it go. Take a joke. You don't take that and then put somebody in. I don't care what that man was doing. If he was wrong, I think him and Tanya have broken up, but it don't matter. That ain't your business to tell this woman that this other woman said that her man was trying to get with her. That's too nasty. It's too dark. I told y'all. Y'all don't want to listen. Let's look at what the tarot is saying. Emphasizing this last point is the fact that the sixth card of the major arcana, the Lovers, is symbolizing the love that unites of all humanity through integration of masculine and feminine polarities. On the good side, this card suggests affections and desires on a high moral, aesthetic, but also physical plane. On the bad side, it indicates games of seduction, unfulfilled desires, sentimentality, or indecision. Let's look at her advice. Bring yourself into sync with life around you as an equal. Not I am worth more than or better than, okay? But as an equal. Because when she got on this show, that was what she was using on Portia. Oh, I miss USA, and I'm a part of the history books, and I'm this and I'm that, and she was looking down on other people. She told Phaedra, I'm pretty, and what did Phaedra say to her? You pretty, but you still wasn't able to get a husband and have kids, and so stop using what's on the outside. And like I said, what works in your business life, like she's been on men's magazine covers, she won Miss USA, that works over there. But in your personal life, people want to get to the heart of the matter. And I think that was an issue with Mark. Mark, he was an asshole, but he wouldn't play along. He wouldn't play along because he knew she was hiding her real self from the public. You heard it first. Okay? It says you are something special, but not because people say you are. Exactly. Exactly. Don't be prey to the expectations of others, which is Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because to me, the longer she stays on the show, the longer she's going to do stuff just for the show. It's not going to come across as real. It's not going to come across as authentic. Those of us that are big fans of neneleakes, we love her because of what? The authenticity. Okay? Fight for your own identity. Okay, and stop trying to live through Miss USA. Okay, now y'all go ahead and twirl on all of that, honey. Let's get to Marlo. Marlo Hampton was born February 7th, 1976. I want to see if there's some type of difference between January Aquarius and February. If you know of any, put it in the comments, guys. Okay, so the difference between a January Aquarius and a February Aquarius. February Aquarians are co-ruled by the mutable planet Mercury. They tend to be more flexible and open-minded about things. This quick-witted planet has a sharp tongue and can think on its toes. So these February-born Aquarius better be able to walk away without a fight. I know that's right, honey. So one thing is said about January Aquarius, which is what Kenya is, it says that they are ruled by a completely new planet, Rahu. They are arguably the most unpredictable. And honey, that is what that kenyamoore gives. Okay, so we got Marlo Hampton, February 7th, the day of utopia. Okay, so her first good quality is... it says that Marlo is human. That's her strength. Okay, so when the book says that Marlo is human, it is saying that she has qualities and features about her that makes her relatable. You can, recognize what she's going through by, how she puts herself out there. And, she has a lot of different sides to her. Her second strength is she's natural. That means she's common, essential, innate, legitimate, reasonable. Look, honey, are we talking about Marlo Hampton? Her next strength is she is spontaneous. That means she's unforced, unplanned, voluntary, unpremeditated, unrehearsed. Unsolicited. Okay. Next, it says she's unrealistic. That means impractical, irrational, illogical, senseless. Marlo sometimes can come off as if she wants things her way. And what I see when I look at Marlo, like, she always has to dress nice and, look beautiful. She wants to stand out. She doesn't want to be as ugly as her childhood was. So that's why Marlo is so over the top. I think they were season 9 by the campfire and she decorated like the bottle of off and put stones around it. Like, I want everything around me to be pretty. I didn't grow up with much, but we always made the best with what we had. And I want to stand out. And with her being an Aquarius, she's a February Aquarius, and I dated an Aquarius. One thing I will say that I picked up from that man and from other Aquarius is you all are very, inventive. You all are very much so y'all are innovative. Like, y'all have y'all own style and flair about y'all. And I remember when I was a kid and I dated this February Aquarius, he just had his own style. He just stood out from everybody. He looked, just way more special. And not so much look, but he just had his own individualistic way of being. And you will find that with a lot of Aquarius. And sometimes Aquarius can get called eccentric because, they could come off as being really different than other people. But you guys just have that swag to y'all, that flair, like you stand out. Like when you come up with a hairstyle, it's your own. And we noticed that with Marlo, with her decor, with how she dresses, the labels. Like, you're gonna remember me. I stand out. And I feel like a lot of Marlo's behavior, a lot like Kenya, it's from her childhood. The things that she didn't get. She didn't have that stable, loving mother. So it's kind of like with adulthood being the continuation of childhood, it's just like, I'm going to have everything and then some when I'm an adult. You know, when I, felt like I wasn't good enough, or we didn't have enough, or I didn't get that hug or that love I wanted from my mother, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to have that. And it's by any means necessary. Marlo is not like the rest of the women. Her and Kenya is kind of one and the same in this, where they don't really need a man. Like, you know how Cynthia is always looking for her next forever? Kenya and Marlo, like, they're the complete opposite. They know how to be by themselves. They know how to date and have fun. And, that's something I noticed with both of them that I really do like. And I admire it, especially on a show like this, when everybody feels the need to be spoken for. And it's Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I get it, but it's also important for a woman to be able to stand strong on her own, right? It says that Marlo is over permissive. This is actually one of her weaknesses. This takes me back to her talking to Carlos King and how she described her relationship with Nene. She said it's kind of like a man that, he may beat your ass, but you still will go out on a date with him. You still will deal with him. He gonna beat your ass and talk shit about you and put you down, but you still, you still show up for your man, and, you still allow him, to be your man, and y'all still go right off into the sunset together. That's kind of, I'm paraphrasing you guys. That's kind of what she was saying. And to me, what that means is she's too lenient. She's too pardoning. She's too willing to put up just to, have people around. That also takes me to the reunion. There was a lot of backpedaling about her behavior. And it's like, Marlo, you got to stop behaving in such an egregious way, in such an aggressive way, in such a hostile way. You're going to have to calm that down, okay? You're going to have to calm that, like, all the way down. On the reunion, what I didn't like last year, and this is why I told y'all Nene is my favorite. You could say what you want to about Nene. Nene don't back down to Andy. She don't kiss his ass. We see a lot of these reality stars, that they talk a lot of shit on the show. And I know some people would be like, well, girl, I want to keep my job, so I am going to kind of watch what I say. Yeah, okay, I can get with you there. But, and I've seen Heavenly do this too, where she will bow down and acquiesce to Andy and overly apologize. And no, see, when you do that, you're not really standing in your shiggity. Okay, you're not really standing in your truth. And nobody did that more than neneleakes. And I know y'all like, well, that's why she ain't, on the show and she'll not keep her mouth shut. No, she felt like she was being treated unfairly. She felt like race played a part. It is what it is. If Nene would have won that damn lawsuit, most of y'all would be like, that's right, Nene. I saw all the comments when people thought that Nene won that big lawsuit against Bravo. Yeah, that's right, Nene. You do it, Nene. That's right. And Nene had a lot of courage. And yeah, and then when nothing came of the lawsuit, see, she should have kept her damn mouth shut. She's stupid. See, she let the fame go to her head. See, she got an ego now. Yeah, Nene changed. Who the hell don't change after they get a certain amount of money? Nobody stays the same. Okay, take off the rose-colored glasses. Everybody changes. And everybody kept coming for Nene when she was on that show. Kandi was coming for her. Kenya never wanted to make up with her. Got mad at Porsha because Porsha got back cool with Nene because Porsha genuinely loved Nene. They just hung out. Her, Simon, and Nene dude. So there's love there. Kenya didn't like that. Okay? So, yeah. And Kandi don't like being attacked by Marlo, but Marlo knows what needs to be done because she remember how they kept coming at Nene when Nene was on here. Kenya and Kandi, they didn't mind. Look at how they acted at season 12 reunion. Kept coming at Nene, not really holding Kenya accountable and responsible for the stuff she was doing. Kandi came way too hard. Kandi had been cool that season, but was saying little bullshiggity. And I think Marlo saw that and was like, bitch, I'm about to, as soon as I get my peach, I'm going to make you earn your coins. Okay? And I don't care if I got to dig out of the crack of my ass to get you to do it. Now, Marlo, that's where you going wrong. Because, like, some of the stuff you coming up with, honey, it just needs to all make sense. Make it make sense, Marlo. Okay? You need to pull this together a lot better. But back to what I was saying, Marlo was doing a lot of backpedaling at that reunion because she was scared to lose her peach. She still feels like she gotta watch everything she say or they gonna take her peach. Y'all always want her to be fired soon as she say or do the wrong thing. Y'all don't do that to nobody else, and I feel like that's not fair. Does Marlo go too far? Yes, you can say that, but don't think that, like, if Marlo didn't do some of the shit that she did, like, what type of season of Housewives would we really have? Okay, so make it make sense. But yeah, over permissive, allowing things to go too far, like backpedaling with Andy, and you can kind of tell she's kind of scared of him. And the last weakness is dissatisfied, and that comes, like I said, I believe from Marlo's childhood of nothing is good enough. That's why I gotta stand out, and I gotta make everything 10 times better than what it is. And you should be satisfied after a while. I don't think she's satisfied, honestly, with her peach. And I think it's because she didn't know all of what it came with. Like, look, Bravo, they hired Marlo to be messy. They hired her for a reason. Because they knew that Marlo is Marlo is the girl that gets the girls together. Kenya don't like Marlo because Marlo then kind of took her spot. Yes, I said it. Like, Kenya used to want to be the girl to bully and antagonize the girls, but she can't do that with Marlo there. Because Marlo from the street, she a hood bitch. Ain't no Miss USA, ain't no I care about my image and how this look. That's a hood bitch. You can take the what? You can take the girl up out the hood, but you can't take the hood up out the girl. That's what Marlo stands for. And that's why Marlo continues to, give it to the people the way that she do. We don't understand it all the time, but don't get me wrong. Bravo likes it. I don't give a damn what they say. But I didn't like all of that at the reunion, and she got to backpedal and apologize. And yeah, you can acknowledge when you was wrong, but bitch, like, that's your character. If you keep doing something over and over again, that's your character. So you apologizing just so you could do the same damn thing in the next season. Make it make sense. You can't do that. So if Bravo wants Marlo to change her character, they need to have that conversation with her. But all this, but you should apologize and you went too far. And why y'all not stopping her while she doing that? Because they love that. Why y'all think the producers is working with Marlo to go against Kandi? Y'all don't notice that? Okay. It says the day of utopia. Says those born on February 7th have a social vision and a desire to right existing inequalities. What did I tell y'all? This is somebody that has said, I'm going to have a better life this time around. The second part of my life is going to be better than the first. They are amongst the most idealistic. That means I have an idea of how I want to look, how I want to be, how I want people to receive me. They are amongst the most idealistic people of the year, but can be mistaken for being harsh, ironic, and even cynical by those who do not understand them. It is true that February 7th people are severely critical of life as it is, but not without an idea of what it could be. Their efforts to live by their ideals, however, in hopes that others will also, are not always realistic. Okay, so her behavior on this show is not realistic to the girls. They're like, tone it down, tone it this, and tone it that. And I say Marlo is going to have to get some type of boundaries within her character, because you just can't apologize and keep doing the same shit. People ain't gonna receive it. They not gonna feel like you are genuine. And some people may say, well, that's how Kenya see her. Maybe so, but Kenya is gonna have to do work on her part too. With you can't be nasty to people and then think that they are going to bow down and acquiesce to your demands. It's not gonna happen, especially not with no street woman like Marlo. Those February 7th people less openly critical are sometimes taken for being innocent or naive, primarily due to their natural air and youthful manner. Indeed, they value greatly the sincerity of youth and seek to keep it alive in themselves. Okay, that's why Marlo was over there on Monty, hanging out with the boys, traveling, living life. They generally believe that what is closest to divinity, nature, or universal values is the best that there is. Any naivete notwithstanding, February 7th people are usually astute judges of character and students of human heart and personality. As a rule, they pick their friends very carefully. If they take on the responsibilities of a family and have children, they empathize fairness and usually try to remain open to their children's point of view. February 7th people believe that children can teach us a great deal and that childhood should be as happy as possible. That's why it means so much, you guys, for her to, help her sister with those boys. That way she can give them a really good life. Those born on this day do not stand for cruelty toward the weak and unprotected. That takes me, for some reason, to Kenya. She feels like Kenya is cruel for no reason. That's why she behaves the way she does. To me on the show, it's kind of like, oh, this bitch being rude and mean. Let me get her together in front of the girls. Because that one time, and I'll never forget, I reviewed Real Housewives of Atlanta season 12 when Kenya came in there being nasty to Eva, being dismissive of Cynthia, and they was at a little barbecue or whatever. And Marlo said, bitch, you ain't like this with Mark, so I don't know why you coming in here acting all nasty to these women. You ain't the boss up in that house. And we had already seen how Mark be talking to her. When she said that, baby, I hollered. Okay, I hollered. Marlo be saying what we're all thinking. Okay, so Kenya be over there wanting y'all to believe she that girl. And no, I told y'all, when you that girl with these men is when you will cuss a woman out and your man out. Like, your tone don't change. Okay? So, human suffering has a damaging effect on their psyche, particularly if they do not act to confront it. That I told y'all. That's why she's so confrontational with certain people, even like with Candy. I'm not going to sit up here and just have you, putting on this facade, like, oh, you Mother Teresa, oh, you so perfect, you know, Candy don't do this, Candy don't do that, Candy. That's why she's kind of pointing at the stuff that Candy does. But like I said, she's going about it in the wrong way. Okay? Going about it in the wrong way. Many born on this day do become involved in causes either in their community or wider social scale. Okay? Real Housewives of Atlanta. February 7th, people can go very far with their thoughts, therefore chafe under the constraint of authority. She don't like to be told what to do, whether parental or societal. Yeah, Marlo does whatever she want to do. Those born on this day refuse to be muzzled by those who are threatened by their ideas, valuing spontaneity. They also like to see others express themselves honestly and openly, even if they do not agree with them. February 7th, people are categorically opposed to repression, stiffness, repetitive habit, and reactionary tendencies, which they see as deadening to the human character. Those born on this day have their work cut out for them if they wish to convince others of their views. They can meet with stubborn resistance from more practical and less idealistic individuals who feel that the status quo, although not perfect, is preferable to change. Though free spirits, February 7th people sometimes have to content themselves with revealing existing problems, making suggestions, and allowing others to either take it or leave it. Should they be intent on forcefully impressing their ideas on others, they must be prepared to face rejection, outright hostility, and even ostracism. That's what's going on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I think Kenya and Candy, they want her to be ostracized from the group. They don't want anybody to like her. That's why Kenya has that attitude with Sonya, because she feel the need to put her friends on a leash. Okay, we saw how she did Cynthia on the Ultimate Girls Trip. Okay, whatever I feel about somebody, you need to feel. And that's not going to work either. And that's what Candy did with Monyetta. I know y'all saying, well, no, Marlo nasty to Monyetta. Yeah, Marlo is nasty. She ain't got to be so nasty with her. But I think it's right to speak out against Monyetta, because Monyetta got a battery in her back over something that, Marlo said last season about, oh, you could think for yourself. It wasn't too bad what Marlo said. Marlo done said worse. You that offended by that? Okay, so girl, goodbye. Those born on the 7th of the day are ruled by the number 7 and by the planet Neptune. And it says, those born on this day must avoid getting out of touch with reality by overemphasizing their dreams and aspirations. Also, they must be aware of suspicious or unsubstantiated psychic and occult activities. Those ruled by the number 7 traditionally enjoy change and travel. Let's talk about her tarot, which is the 7th card of the major arcana, is the Chariot, which shows a triumphant figure moving through the world, manifesting his physical presence in a dynamic way. The card may be interpreted to mean that no matter how narrow or precarious the correct path, one must continue on. The good of this card posits success, talent, and efficiency. The bad side suggests a dictatorial attitude and a poor sense of direction. And we see that on the show, like all this stuff with Candy pulling stuff out of her ass. Like, make it make sense. We want to support you. Okay, and it's not because I have a huge vendetta or anything against Candy, but I've never liked that about Candy. That's why I always like Nene. We could see the bad and good with Nene. What you see is what you get. Okay? It's something about these people that's always trying to cry, always trying to weaponize their mother, allowing their mother to dog their man. You can't tell me that Candy ain't in support of that. She been using it for a storyline all this time, and now all of a sudden, I don't like how my mama talk to my husband. Girl, you know you like that shit. Okay? You support her bad behavior. That's why your mother was down to the BravoCon. Because she like, well, shit, I keep getting rewarded for my bad behavior. And what is Kandi going to do now? Oh, we going to go to therapy. Ain't no therapy. I would cut that bitch off. Okay? And cut my credit cards up that she got too. Okay? Like, you keep rewarding this lady with a house and a car, trips out of town. Why should she change? Taurus. Kandi, why should she change? Kandi up next, you guys. We're going to get her next. But yeah, I don't like that. Like, when you say what you mean what you say. And Marlo is here to keep these people honest, to stay on their ass. She didn't have the flair that Nene had. And I saw one of y'all put, was she just trying to be the new Nene? No. Marlo knows she could never be Nene. She even said on Carlos King, I could never be my big sis. She could never. She know better than that. Because if she was Nene, she wouldn't have been at that reunion doing all that backpedaling and apologizing. You seen Nene season 11 give no Fs. Just sitting there like, huh? What? And remember what Andy said, no response? She said no response. I said, come on, baby. I love her. I love her. So yeah, she's not a Nene because she's overdoing what she's doing. Nene would just say the shit straight up to him. Right? That's how Nene is. No nonsense to your face. That's why we can appreciate her. Some of us. But Marlo is, I'm going to pull this from this and bring this up from some years ago. And here we go. Here we go. So I wish she would stop doing that. Okay? I just wish she would stop doing. I don't like the way she's going about doing what she's doing. Okay? That's what I will say about Marlo. But I like Marlo. Marlo is needed. We need a hood gutter chick that just don't give a damn. Go do her. Go look fabulous. You know, she go make her nephews shine, honey, and give them the life that they deserve to live. I am here for it. I'm here for it. The advice the book has, though you can change but a small piece of the world, you can perfect yourself. Work on overcoming your personal weaknesses. Because I see on the show, Marlo is doing a lot of, well, this person bring this out of me. No, Marlo, you need to control yourself. It starts with you. Okay, you can check them. I'm not against that. But don't blame your actions on what other people are doing. Just say, hell, I told her off because I needed to tell her off because she was lying on me. Just have more control of yourself. Set an example for others. Remain open and idealistic even as you mature. The meditation and ideal world can only be created by ideal people. Let's go back to Kenya's, her meditation. A house with no curtains has nothing to hide. Okay? Oh, I thought that was interesting. Once again, Marlo, an ideal world can only be created by ideal people. Marlo, you need to own who you are. And if you say something to disrespect somebody, say why you said it. Don't go overboard. Okay? Marlo done had some good moments on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But Marlo can really give it to people. And I think that she could be so nasty with Kenya is because of how Kenya has said and did things on this show to other people. Marlo has seen that through the years. That's why my favorite memory of Marlo, and some people may not like it, I like the one at Cynthia's party she had, and she got Kenya together. But I like at that campfire, season 9, and she got Kenya's ass together. You can't keep her broke, man. And that damn Kandi was cracking up. That was back when she wasn't up, Kenya's ass, right? So like she has like a way of just saying stuff for what it is. You have Porsha. I am loving every bit of this. I'm gonna tell you why Porsha said that, because she has watched Kenya be a bitch to her. She has watched Kenya be a bitch to Phaedra, dog her out by her marriage. She saw her be nasty and rude with Kim Fields, be nasty with Nene, just different people. And sometimes, Kenya was defending herself, but Kenya wants to be the only one that can be that antagonist. She wants to be that bully. So she's threatened by Marlo, because Marlo got her. She gonna come with it. And Marlo gonna stay on Kenya's ass, because guess what? Miss Kenyamoore hair care. Y'all remember that she interrupted Marlo's party? Remember, Kenya had to get back at her for getting the girls together? Do you see what Kenya does? Somebody can say something to her, but it cuts so deep. It's like, now I gotta come and interrupt your thing with a marching band. And that's why Marlo is staying on that ass. Like, yeah, bitch, I may make up with you, but I'm gonna keep my good eye on you, and I'm gonna get your ass together, because, bitch, I ain't forgot. I think it hurt Marlo that Kenya used her. Kenya used Marlo when Nene was on the show. You all remember, go back season 6, Twirlers, when Kenya wanted to get in the middle of Marlo and Nene's friendship. Oh, yeah. And then Kenya played Marlo. She started hanging with Nene. Once Nene had left the show, invited Nene to her birthday. We saw the pictures with Kenya, Cynthia, Nene. And where was Marlo? Not invited. She don't need her no more. That's another thing y'all girl do. She will discard people once she don't need them. Look at what she did to Cynthia on the Ultimate Girls Trip. Okay, so I know, y'all rolling your eyes and sucking y'all teeth, but honey, the truth is the truth, and the truth needs no proof. How you doing? Okay, I hope you all enjoyed these birthday readings, honey. Don't forget, you guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna have a kandiburruss birthday reading coming up soon. We may have my girl Miss neneleakes, because it really ain't no show, honey, without the queen, honey, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.